Hello everyone friends. Poppy Play is a truly mysterious game. From the characters to the plot. One of the most questionable things that happened in the last part. Is this a Catnap murder by Prototype? Why did he do this? What does Prototype need Catnap's body for? Or maybe the Catnap is still alive? Today we'll talk about it. But before that, I ask you friends, do not forget to subscribe to the channel and like it. And also write what you would like to see in the next video. Let's begin. Poppy Playtime Chapter 3 was a very successful sequel to the franchise, featuring a very scary main villain and great puzzles. We were introduced to more characters in the game and learned more about the story of Playtime CO. Catnap was arguably the best villain of the game so far. In our previous article, we discussed Catnap's origin story and his horrific end. But why did the Prototype kill Catnap? During the fight against Catnap, we hurt it badly. However, it is not the main protagonist who kills the creature, but the Prototype. We know from Dog Day that the cat worships Experiment 1006 as a god. So it is not a surprise that the creature kneels in front of the hand. It seems that Catnap accepts its death, or waits for some help, as at the beginning the hand looks like it is going to help the creature, but decides to kill it instead. After Catnap's death, the Prototype takes the body away. There are 4 approximate reasons for this. The Prototype punishes Catnap for his failure, Catnap voluntarily sacrifices himself, the Prototype lets us kill Catnap on purpose, the Prototype saves Catnap. The Prototype punishes Catnap for his failure. One theory suggests that the Prototype killed Catnap due to his failure to defeat us. As we know, Catnap worships 1006 and follows his orders, a behavior that predates Theodore Gramble's transformation into a toy. As the guard of Home Sweet Home, Catnap failed to kill us during all of our interactions with him throughout the game. It's possible that, disappointed by his multiple failures, the Prototype decided to eliminate him. Catnap voluntarily sacrifices himself. The next theory suggests that Catnap already knew he was going to be killed and was waiting for the moment it happened. Before the Prototype stabbed him, we see Catnap kneeling in front of him and spreading his hands in a worshipping way, as if to show that he is ready. What if Catnap was voluntarily waiting to be killed because he knew that 1006 would take his body and make it a part of him? We already know from Mummy Longlegs that the Prototype incorporates other toys' bodies as a part of him. It is possible that Catnap was informed that if he didn't succeed with his task, he would be forcefully taken by the Prototype. As we see, he is not really putting up a fight, which is understandable since he adores 1006 and most likely sees this as a way to help and devote himself to his god. The Prototype lets us kill Catnap on purpose. There is another theory that is a combination of the first two. What if the Prototype is orchestrating the deaths of different toys to make himself stronger? Even though we have only seen the Prototype's hand so far, he appears very fragile and weak. He cannot possibly kill any of the toys we have fought on his own. This theory suggests that the Prototype knowingly puts the other toys in danger so that we could do his job for him and kill them. This way, he can easily collect their bodies and integrate their parts into himself. The Prototype saves Catnap. The last theory is that the Prototype did Catnap a favor by killing him. What does that mean? Well, if you read Catnap's backstory, you know that when he was still an orphan at Playtime, Colorado, he had a tragic accident. It was while he was following 1006's orders that he was strongly electrocuted, causing severe injuries. This occurred right before he was turned into the bigger body of Catnap. The end of Poppy Playtime Chapter 3. When we hit Catnap with our green hand, we made him relive one of the most painful and frightening moments of his life. Although we didn't directly kill him, this attack definitely wounded him badly. It is unlikely, but it's possible that the Prototype, aware of Theodore's past, decided to end Catnap's misery and put his agony to an end. I've heard people think of it as a betrayal, but that's not really in character for the Prototype, noting that he also brought Theodore Catnap back to staff willingly to help him while losing his chance of escaping, which shows he truly does care for him. That's why when Prototype kills Catnap, I see this more as a way to put him out of his misery and setting him free from the shackles of the factory. Likely because he doesn't want him to go through the same electrical accident and live through the pain again. Which is actually crazy how it happened twice. First in human, then in Catnap. Edit. I forgot to mention the likely reason he was hesitant at first to giving himself to Prototype. It is likely because he wanted to still serve the Prototype hand forever. but that's just because I see Prototype as a greater scope villain instead of a morally dubious hero-esque villain. I think the reason why Prototype returned and saved Theodore was because it realized it needed a proper body when it escaped, and it knew the doctors would use the orphans as experiments. Theodore would be no use to it dead, and I doubt it wanted to be a hand forever. But that's just because I see Prototype as a greater scope villain instead of a morally dubious hero-esque villain. The most popular and believable theory is that the Prototype wants to create a new body for itself. Make yourself bigger and better. It is proven by Catnap's shrines if we believe that they represent Experiment 1006, and by the fact that the main antagonist seems to become bigger from chapter to chapter, at least its hand. If we think about it this way, it seems that the protagonist may help the Prototype unwillingly. It suits well to Ollie theory. T is speculated that the Prototype was trying to save the kids and experiments from Playtime CO. This was backed up by one of the VHS tapes in Chapter 1, saying coordination and cooperation is in his skill set. It is also speculated that the Prototype is Elliot Ludwig, protecting those he had failed by fighting back against Harley Sawyer. The Prototype exhibits a personality which is solely built upon his hatred and wishes for downfall for the Playtime Company. He is cunning, stubborn, and rarely displays sarcasm. In a conversation with Harley Sawyer during Log 2-4459, the Prototype's voice is heard for the first time as he mockingly mimics the voices of various employees like Stella Graber. He engages in a monologue about his motivations, questioning Harley Sawyer's thoughts on the effects of the Bigger Bodies initiative and the treatment of experiments. After Sawyer comments on learning something new about the Prototype at each meeting, the Prototype sarcastically thanks Harley and repeats the same thing back while imitating his voice. The Prototype also seems carefree, using the experiments as pawns for his reign of terror, particularly evident in the restricted tapes. These tapes depict toys being taken over by the Prototype, aiming to sabotage their attempts at progress and transportation of their experiments. The most notable example is Huggy Wuggy, whom the Prototype ordered to flee the Playtime factory. As soon as Huggy Wuggy ran too far out, he began simply roaming the woods and only attacking employees after being aggravated. It is said that the Prototype was responsible for the Hour of Joy, an event which took place in the Playtime factory which resulted in countless deaths, and the company was subject to abandon all their works while their factory was overran by Savage Toys, all of which were influenced by the Prototype's high authority and unintended capabilities. Perhaps this is how he wanted to remove one of the main characters whose hands were responsible for all the murders. These are the theories. We end here, friends. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel, give likes, and also write in the comments what you would like to see in the next video. Thank you and bye.